You queued a production run in Seedance 2.5 and it's still not available outside China. So you're back to Seedance 2.0, wondering if you just wasted a week chasing an upgrade that isn't real yet. Seedance 2.5 promises longer clips and more references, and Seedance 2.0 is the proven, globally deployable workhorse. So the real question is whether you can actually use the new one today. Alright, so one of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. So, test 1 is cost. Say you're budgeting a video pipeline and you need to know what a 5-second clip is actually going to run you. With Seedance 2.5, I went looking for an official price at launch and came up empty. The community is floating around 660 credits per 30 seconds at 720p, which works out to roughly 0.47 or to $1.06 per clip. But that number is a community leak, not a vendor commitment. I looked at both pricing pages, and the contrast is pretty stark. Seedance 2.0 has a verified public rate of 0.06726 per second on OpenRouter, so a 5-second clip runs you about 0.34, a real number you can put in a spreadsheet. Seedance 2.5 has no official API price at all, just community-reported estimates, so you're basically pulling a lever and hoping the bill matches what you planned. Seedance 2.0 takes cost, and the gap is pretty hard to ignore. It's the only one with a real price you can actually plan around, while 2.5 gives you nothing official to work with. That puts Seedance 2.0 up 1-0, and I was expecting at least a soft launch price for 2.5, but there's just nothing there. I've spent enough time inside these video tools to know that a missing price page is a red flag, not a minor inconvenience. Drop a comment below if mystery pricing has ever burned your budget mid-campaign. Okay, so test 2 is coding benchmark performance. A lot of people compare AI models on coding scores, and if you're trying to pick a video generation tool based on those numbers, you're going to hit a wall fast. Neither Seedance 2.5 nor Seedance 2.0 publishes any coding benchmark data, and that's not an oversight on their part. These are video models, so looking for a code score here is the wrong question entirely. I went through official model cards, vendor docs, and every source I could track down, and the on-screen cards show exactly what you'd expect. No benchmark figure exists for either side, because coding benchmarks are just a mismatch for a video generation product. If you were hoping this dimension would break the tie, it won't, and you need to look elsewhere for the deciding factor. No winner here, and the score stays at Seedance 2.01, Seedance 2.50, with one dimension off the board. I kind of expected at least some proxy benchmark, but this is a video tool and the data just doesn't exist. Now, test 3 is speed, and this is the number that should scare you if you're running any kind of volume. Seedance 2.0 averages 280 seconds per render according to community reports. That's nearly 5 minutes per clip, and if you're queuing up 10 clips for a single campaign, you're looking at close to an hour of waiting before you even see your first result. The part that got me is how wide the gap looks. Community leaks put Seedance 2.5 at near real-time generation, while Seedance 2.0 sits at that 280-second average. Though I want to be clear, both numbers are community reported, and test setups differ. If the 2.5 speed leak holds up, you're talking about a workflow that's dramatically faster, which changes the economics of iterating on a prompt entirely. Seedance 2.5 takes speed on the directional evidence, and that ties the board at one win each with one dimension off the table. I was expecting the speed gap to be modest, but near real time versus nearly 5 minutes per clip is a genuinely big difference if those community numbers hold. So right now it's level, and the next two tests are the ones that will actually decide this for your workflow. We've still got clip length and reference capacity on the table, and then deployment, which is really the question of whether any of these specs even matter to you right now. Those two tests could completely flip how you read everything we've covered so far. Test 4 is context and output limits. Say you're trying to produce a 30-second product demo in one shot, and your model hard caps at 15 seconds. You either cut the concept in half or you stitch two clips together and hope the seam doesn't show. That's the exact wall Seedance 2.0 puts in front of you, and it's a real production constraint, not a footnote. I had to run through the spec sheets twice because the gap is bigger than it looks on paper. Seedance 2.5 generates 30-second clips natively, double what 2.0 can do, and it's got a 180-second beta mode through jimming. On references, 2.5 accepts up to 50 multimodal inputs, including audio references, while 2.0 tops out at 9 images, 3 videos, and 3 audio files. Both hit 4K on resolution, so that dimension is a wash. Now the 180-second beta mode is still in beta and only accessible through Gming in China, so don't build a pipeline around that number yet. But the 30-second native clip length is a verified spec, and the 50 reference capacity is confirmed, so even without the beta extension, Seedance 2.5 is running a completely different playbook on what a single generation can hold. Seedance 2.5 takes context and output limits, and that puts 2.5 ahead, 2 wins to 1 with 1 tied. I didn't expect the reference count gap to be this wide, but 50 versus 15 total references is a genuinely different creative ceiling, and the clip length advantage is the clearest verified win in this whole comparison. Alright, test 5 is deployment and modality. Say you've got a client campaign going live next week and you need to call an API from your pipeline right now. If the model you picked has no public API and is only accessible through apps that are China first, your launch slips and you're explaining to a client why you built around a tool that isn't actually available to you yet. Watch what happens when you look at the access column on screen. Seedance 2.0 is alive on OpenRouter and Volcano Engine globally right now, with a public API you can hit today. Seedance 2.5 launched China first through Jimeng, Dreamina, and Dubao, with no public API at launch. Both support native audio generation, and 2.5 does add audio as a reference input, which is a real modality upgrade, but you can't access it outside China yet. Seedance 2.0 takes deployment, and that ties the scoreboard at 2 wins each with 1 off the table. If you need to ship a production pipeline today, Seedance 2.0 is the only one that's actually deployable, and that single fact carries a lot of weight when the alternative has no public API at all. Okay, so where Seedance 2.5 clearly wins, it generates 30-second clips natively, double what 2.0 can do, and has a 180-second beta mode in Gming. It accepts up to 50 multimodal references versus 2.0's 15 total. It's rumored to be near real-time on generation speed, and it adds audio as a reference input, giving you more creative control over the final output. And where Seedance 2.0 clearly wins, it's the only one with a verified public API price at 0.6726 per second on OpenRouter, so you can actually budget for it. It's globally available via API right now, no geographic restriction. A 5-second clip runs about 0.34, cheaper than 2.5's community estimated range. And it's a proven workhorse with a known cost structure you can put in a client proposal today. If you can deploy today and need a known price, Seedance 2.0 is your pick. If you're in China or willing to wait for the global API and need 30-second clips with 50 references, Seedance 2.5 is worth the wait. The deciding factor is one word: access. One thing the docs don't spell out, Seedance 2.0's credit ladder on Volcano Engine charges 12 credits per second, which means a 15-second clip at 720p burns 180 credits. And if you're on a shared team account with a monthly credit cap, you can hit that ceiling mid-campaign with 0 warning before the queue just stops. If you're also thinking about whether your text model is keeping up with your video pipeline, I did a full breakdown on Claude Opus 4.8 and whether it's still worth using in 2025, and the answer is more interesting than you'd think. That video is right here.